viewer submission. There's been a few different Frel Overwhelm decks that have done well in the format, and this one notably is leaning on Outriders here as an Allegiance card to leverage to power up our things. So Allegiance says when you play this, if the top card of your deck is the same region, you get this bonus. So if your top card's a Frel card when you play this, the next ally in your deck gets +3/+3 and Overwhelm. So this deck as constructed has very minimal noxious cards. We've got 3 Culling Strikes here and 2 Captain Pharaon, but we're primarily a Freljord deck, so we can trigger our Outriders as consistently as possible. We've got some Sejani and Tryndamere. We've got some cheeky Battle Furies here at the top end of our curve. We've got other cheap Overwhelm units like Ruthless Raiders, and then we've got some other cards to help us stabilize the board against aggro early while we get our bigger threats going. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this one here and see how it goes. There was a sneaky blanket. Diego Mora, thanks for the follow. Fabian, welcome to the channel. Good morning. For those of you that have seen my children coming in and out, I have 3 small children, a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 6-month-old, so they poke in from time to time. They are currently remote learning, although I suppose they're technically on winter break at the moment. Draven Darius, actually likely another Frel Overwhelm deck, although they're not going to have the Allegiance card. Definitely want to mulligan my top end here, keep my cheaper cards to start. You know, it's kind of funny, during normal times, winter break when my kids are off of school, I'd normally have less time, but not having to manage them getting on various Zoom calls for school and Google Meets for school actually means it's easier when they're on winter break. Fingers crossed 2021 brings us back to the before times, chat. I would like to be able to send my children to school. That is an excellent draw on 2 here. Really didn't want to play this out proactively. This is a great one to hit. Children are a lot like animals. They're like animals that talk back. We did hit the Prime Glory, Caracol. Or die. Yeah, excellent Hawk hits here. We'll see what they play. I'm probably going to Ice Veil Archer this and then attack with everything. Leave nothing standing. I have not played Archer with Grand Plaza. That sounds sweet though. I should get Ash Lux back into the queue at some point. In the world of good problems to have, we've had so many Runeterra deck submissions since the new cards dropped. I haven't been able to put as many of my own decks into the queue, but that's really a good problem to have, all things considered. I think when I signed on this morning, we had what, 20? There were 26 Runeterra decks waiting to be played that people had sent in. So, well, this combat could have gone better for us. This combat stuff could have gone better for us. And if you're someone that's new to the channel, by the way, and you want to see things that are coming up on stream, the stream queue is public on my website. Also, if you're one of my regulars who watches here and you're collecting those Twitch channel points, you can cash in some of those channel points to bump decks up in the queue, increase their point value so they get played sooner. You can also move decks up in there with donations or cheering bits. Ash Lux with Plaza, thanks for the biddies, LinkedIn. That's rough. That is a big swing here. I do have Tavern Keeper here at least, which notably getting my life total back above 10 is valuable here because my opponent's a Darius deck. We thought about replacing one of the champions of this deck with Zoe, asking the real questions. Doing my part to redistribute Bezos' money by buying a 6-month sub during September. Thanks for the 32 months, Jerry. Welcome back. Now, this here is notably going to let them play Darius leveled next turn, so it's a little scary. Gonna be a close game here, if my opponent has a Darius. And they don't have Darius, we should be. Okay, so we play Alpha Wildclaw. We're taking 4 on Overwhelm here. The Overwhelm deck you submitted Saturday. Check your spam folder. I don't currently have... I have one outstanding deck that I haven't emailed back yet in my queue, but it's a build around that I'm thinking on.
Enough stalling.
Feel free to DM me on Discord, Dyer, too, if you don't see the email, and let me know what the deck code was. Sometimes I use, Bump the Ash Plaza deck that just got added. Sounds good, we're in. Might have to turn some of these mornings into 4-deck mornings. Get through that queue a little quicker. We're gonna be doing at least 3 decks a day for the foreseeable future. As long as the queues pop in. Definitely mulliganing Battle Fury and Troll Chant here, I think. Gonna keep Culling Strike against their Lucian deck. Kindly Tavern Keeper is probably worth keeping too. I would assume they slant aggressive here. Yeah, that could be it too. Does Shillionaire get cheaper by 1 every time someone gets it? It does, Willie. Basic trickle-down Shillonomics dictates that every time we get a new Shillionaire, it becomes easier for all of the plebs at home to also become Shillionaires. Listen, we don't miss a chance to make fun of late-stage capitalism on this stream. I agree, Ghosted. This set is the best Runeterra set that's been released to date, and it's not close. It is so incredibly well done. The only proven form of trickle-down economics. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Alright, how do we feel about Culling Strike now? Because this way, if they have a pump spell, I guess we're burning their mana. I'm gonna burn their mana. I'm probably freezing this next turn anyways, he said before drawing Outriders. I love hearing this set is the best every set. I don't know if I strictly agree with that. I think I liked the first Call of the Mountain card drop better than the second one.
Many tribes, one Frel yard.
Yeah, the next card should guaranteed be the Yeti, right? Because we drew 2 cards here that weren't Yeti. No, we don't take this pass. There's going to be a giant Yeti with Overwhelm on top of my deck here. Do I count Rising Tides? I don't count Rising Tides because I wasn't playing then. They could be a Ruination deck. Alright. Almost fog results.
This is your end.
Our deck seems weak so far.
you. A true Freljordian welcome.
This deck has one of the top 5 win rates on Mobalytics right now. That's interesting. What's the sample size? Are people just not playing it? I don't think I've seen this deck at all on the ladder. What's the sample size like? Can this be the deck that drags us? It's like 600 games. That's not terrible. Can this be the deck that drags us kicking and screaming to the Diamond 4 rank floor? I'm so glad that they changed the limit on card purchase rule. That was the limit on card purchases when they first released Runeterra was a big part of why I didn't touch it to start. It was such a shitty policy. And like, it's great to see that Riot got the feedback on that being a crappy policy and then changed it, because that's what you should want. You should want companies to make changes based on consumer feedback that makes things better for the consumers. Yeah, when Runeterra first released, you could only buy a certain number of wild cards per week. What's a good sample size? Yeah, I was actually going to say about that number, about 300 is where you can start saying maybe there's something meaningful based on this data. And honestly, I would like low four digits most of the time because of the amount of variation in decks people can be playing. Yeah, I usually end most seasons like Diamond 4 to Diamond 1, somewhere in there. Sometimes we spike into Masters, but with mostly playing viewer decks, we get stuck in Diamond a lot of the time on this channel. So I think I want to open attacks here because they're a Trundle deck. I drew that though. If they don't have Trundle, I want to play the Yeti. Drawing the Yeti changes it.
The Winter's Claw strikes. The Winter's Claw.
Oh, you're interesting.
The Darius build of Frel Overwhelm is like 59% win rate, but I was told by very competitive players press a pick that deck's a joke and you should instead play real decks. Are you implying I was lied to?
Fight or die.
Nah, it must just be easy to play. Big mood. Alright, so am I playing this pre-combat? Nah, I'm just opening. Let's just smack them. I mean, that's not even about lying. It's more so that people just don't want to experiment with things, and it's easier to just say the new ideas are bad and write them off, because it takes effort to like try and tune new ideas. Yeah, Icequake or Avalanche are both pretty bad here. Well, shit.
You own what you take.
Yeah, at least we didn't develop. Big mood. Wow, did they just burn my mana? Resolves. Rats. I guess there's a chance they don't have... There's a chance they don't have healing, right? And I'm not dead on board?
At my creations. Now they'll pay attention. A familiar face for you Runeterrans.
Needed to dodge that one, shit. This one gives Overwhelm. Rats! They saw the attack with everything line, shit.
Well fought.
Needed to dodge that one. Close game. A little bit too slow there. Missed it by this much. Why didn't we play out another blocker? Because they all had Overwhelm and it didn't matter. The big idiot gives all the other things Overwhelm. That was a good play by them burning your mana. What? That play literally didn't matter. I didn't have any plays to make the turn they burned my mana. You could make the argument that the turn my mana burned was the turn I lost because I didn't have anything to do, but the reason why my mana burned that turn was because I had 3 8-drops in my hand and it was turn 7. I'd actually argue, based on the context of their hand, them burning my mana that turn was really bad because they could have attacked me and I couldn't do anything about it. Based on the makeup of my deck and what could have been in my hand there. And honestly, I'd argue it's a bad read, because the only reason I passed there in my aggressive deck is because I can't do anything. So I actually think you're just very wrong. And based on the context of my deck and how proactive and aggressive my deck is, me having no plays there just means I'm stuck, and they should press their advantage and attack me.
Land is ours.
Our hand seems great. Yeah, double Outriders to start seems good. The one worry is that,
Leave nothing standing.
I think I'm into trading this for this plus a point of damage. Gets me a trigger on my Sejani.
Joke debate. Many tribes. One.
Nah, if I play the 3-drop, they just attack me and then I'm forced to block. The pass there was good for me, Meister. I didn't play a card because the pass was good. And me not playing a card meaning the pass was good, which is why they should have attacked me instead of taking the pass. Drawing 2 of our noxious cards here before we play. This is very skillful.
On the trail.
Easy attacks. These trade. They take 3. They might block and Mystic Shot this. I think I'm okay with that exchange too. And getting another hit in for my Sejani is also an outcome I'm happy with. And that's like this discussion here, where we're going back and forth talking about like what's good and bad, is one of the reasons why Runeterra is such a great game. And the priority system in Runeterra is easily the most skill-intensive and rewarding priority system in any game I've ever played. It's very, very good. Alright, now the question is, am I playing these out next turn? Alright, so this is about to get guillotined. Got it. Or double flocked, maybe? Alright, so we're getting guillotined. Got it. One of these, this will get to hit. This will get to hit beforehand at least, but... We just have double Scorched Earth? And honestly, so one of the reasons why the priority system in this game is so rewarding too is the way the priority system in this game is structured, it allows you to bluff meaningfully in a way that just isn't possible in any other card game I've ever played. It really allows you to leverage the hidden information aspect really cleanly. Oh yeah, they're super dead. These Barons are gonna destroy them. We get to Frostbite this and then Culling Strike it, and then play this in attack next turn.
I am superior life form. Beautiful face.
I'm gonna break this siege wide open, chat.
Prime and ready. I'll break this siege.
Well, one of my things was already damaged, Limpton.
You know, I'll end this.
The Winter's Claw.
The fact that we're at 20 here is a big deal.
Till the end.
We just cast Decimate 3 times? Maybe. Playing Decimate 3 times might be correct, but it's way less fun than playing a second Captain Pharaoh. I feel like, talking about players understanding tempo versus card advantage, I've been thinking about maybe putting together some short YouTube videos about, like, explaining the basics of tempo versus card advantage, some of the nuances of the passing and the priority system here in Runeterra. I feel like some short videos like that would probably go over well. Those are ones that take a little bit more to put together though, because I have to like write a script and stuff for them. Yeah, maybe that would be better as written content than video content. That's very possible. It's very possible that that's better served as written content. More people would watch a video than read an article. Possibly, yeah. I had talked to the editor at Mobilytics already, Precipic, and I've got something lined up that I'm going to be writing for them. But they actually asked me that they don't want to publish anything until they're into the new year, because they've got a bunch of people going on break. Trundle Sajani. Moist Succulent Pyro, thanks for the 27 months. Welcome back. The video, it's easy to follow with visual aids. Well, I mean, like, a well-produced article would include, like, screenshots of board states as examples. For people that haven't read good written content before. I would actually argue that I think that style of thing's better as written content. But there's also the idea that I think it would probably be popular either way, and putting it on my YouTube channel to drive traffic to my new highlights channel is something that would have good value for my content long term.
The winter's claw strikes. Ha! I'll take everything.
Hey chat, is Troll Chant good? Magic made it much harder to figure out Runeterra for me. Here's a blisteringly hot take, not a protagonist. The reason why it felt like knowing Magic made it harder for you to figure out Runeterra is because Magic the Gathering doesn't actually have that many nuanced in-game decisions. It's pretty linear and straightforward once you have basic heuristics down, whereas Runeterra, in comparison, has a ton of incredible depth of in-game decisions in comparison. While there's definitely basics that you need to know to be good at Magic, the amount of basics that you need to know to be good at Runeterra and the amount of different situations you have to be able to apply them in and flexibly and on the fly is much greater. I think in-game Runeterra decision making has an incredibly higher skill cap than Magic the Gathering does.
I'll take everything.
So I don't think it's so much explicitly that knowing Magic made it harder for you to get into Runeterra, so much as it's just being good at Magic isn't good enough to also be good at Runeterra. Maybe I should just take this hit here and play the Tavern Keeper out. That could be right. You can also just bank Spell Mana here, though, with the Battle Fury in hand. That's a good draw. When I first started playing Runeterra, I felt worn out after playing far fewer games because I had to think more. Yeah, I agree. I was more talking about understanding how damage and priority works in Runeterra, but again, those are not just a you do Magic so it's harder. There's more complexity in both the damage and priority in Runeterra than there is in Magic. Yeah, I agree with that. The thing, and that's not to say Magic's a strictly bad game, but I agree with Mad Wheels there in that Magic's greatest strength is that it's a really good deck building game. The most decisions you make when playing Magic is how you build your deck, how you mulligan, and how you sideboard. Whereas in Runeterra, Runeterra has far more in-game decisions that really matter. I don't even think that's strictly true, number 15. I think the high end of games in Magic, I'm gonna mulligan my top end here and just look for some cheaper threats. Harley UK, thanks for the follow. I think if you look at the average game of Magic, it doesn't have a lot going on in it. And that's in large part because the average game of Magic involves one player not making any meaningful decisions due to the resource system. I think you're right that the high end of really good games in Magic have a lot of nuance in them, but I think those games are more the exception than the rule. Yeah. Yeah, the combat system in Runeterra is just so good. Yeah, that's a real thing, Drunk Owl. Drunk Owl, I miss being able to win a percent of my games just because I put more lands in my deck than my opponents. Yep. Thanks for the quarter of a year, D-Rock. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. When I was doing viewer decks for Magic, the number one change I would make would be cut 1 to 3 spells and add 1 to 3 lands, because people who play Magic like getting really lucky and high rolling and not playing enough mana in their deck consistently. See, I actually disagree, Navier. I think for novice players, what lands you put in your deck can be really interesting, but if you're anything above average at Magic, nuance when it comes to putting lands in your deck really isn't there because you understand the basic heuristics of the game. You're really good at this deck. You're drawing Trapper and Outriders a lot. I am a skilled TCG player. Years of experience. Yeah, even in formats like Legacy and Modern, there's really basic heuristics you apply to consistently. I also haven't missed Allegiance once on this, which is great. You love to see it. Can you define heuristics for me? What does Google say? Does Google have a good definition? Heuristics. Alright, it uses the word heuristic to describe it. Just fundamentals. The best way to equate it is that means fundamentals.
What's that you got there?
They're a core subset of fundamentals that you always apply, which makes things less interesting, because you should always be doing a certain thing. Common practices or fundamentals would be two good definitions. Yes, this is Get Wrecked Nib here with the perfect definition. They are mental shortcuts that aren't hard rules but can be used to make the right decision most of the time with less work. And that's a great way to put it, because they're not hard and fast rules. And that's the difference between a good player and a mediocre player, is a good player understands when they're supposed to ignore the base heuristics of the game that as they understand it. They know when the common practice doesn't fit the current situation that they're in.
This'll send them running.
Is this good? If so, why? Please explain, he says before getting vengeanced. The box is very good. The opponent's deck has a bad harrowing matchup usually, and the box is good at countering that.
Packed 'em good.
Multiple boxes. Chat, am I gonna get flagged on the Twitch TOS for my opponent continuing to show their box on stream? Should I be worried about my channel?
Clear off.
You can always find the current deck by typing !deck in chat, or by checking out the overlay on the stream. Troll chant to save both. Yeah, maybe that's better. I don't know. I like hitting them for a bunch of damage. Big fan of the pile of damage. Minzy, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Welcome back. It was not lethal, no. Why not boost the Yeti instead? Because I want the permanent buff on my Overwhelm unit long term, chat. The permanent buff on my Overwhelm unit long term is more valuable. Yep, no problem, Broken.
Deal me in. Hold it, partner.
I'll just be holding up Troll Chant here, I think.
Pain is nothing.
We have Fury in the north for next turn to keep this alive, hopefully, as well. build has some really interesting choices in it. So they're on multiple Vile Feast and multiple Box here.
This'll send them running. Got a surprise for them.
Let's do this.
Prove your worth.
Yeah, they have a lot of anti-aggro cards for sure. Yeah, their build is a little bit outside of the box. It's a good, excellent way to put it, Ruin. Do you have children? I'm not sure you're allowed to type that line if you don't have children. That was a great draw.
Stand and
Hey chat, remember when this card gave 4/4?
Charmed, I'm sure.
Lindy Mind! Thank you for the 3 entire years of support. That's a really long time. I appreciate you dropping off the Prime again. Welcome back. This deck's been great so far. Feels real good. Why does Overwhelm Trample feel good? Well, Overwhelm is better in Runeterra than Trample is in Magic because blocking is 1-to-1 in this game. I think you could make Pack Your Bags cost 4 mana and that deck's still playable. No full mulligan, looking for cheap threats. How do you feel about Yasuo? I like Yasuo Leona. You can find my preferred build of Yasuo Leona on my website, jeffoglin.com. It's under the control section. We got to play Zoe Lux in every single game of the Gauntlet, and we got 7 wins.
Many tribes, one Freljord.
One Freljord. Zoe Lux. Zoe Lux was the deck I highlighted today on my highlights YouTube channel. Deck is really sweet. I think it's very likely the best Zoe control deck in the format.
Ready yourself.
Alright, don't second cascade me. Possible I should have troll chanted there. I don't know, getting an Opify out of it is also not terrible.
What is gained when we return malevolence?
Alright, play a what's it called for me. Play a Yasuo for me, or at least it for me. This Raider is above average. That being said, their deck does have stuns and other stuff. Call the weak. The weak have been called, chat. Moving on up. See, chat? The emote meta is pay to win. Get your Riven emotes now before they go up in price. They're busted, chat. When you let your opponent know that there will be no mercy for the weak, they run scared. You think we're undefeated? I don't keep track of things like win rates, so if we're undefeated, I believe you. Is this hand kind of nuts? I think I'm happy with this. Maybe I could see mulliganing Sajani. She seems pretty good in the mirror, though. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Outriders, Outriders. They're our card. We're gonna hit them very hard.
Fight or die. Leave nothing standing. I'll take everything.
Do 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 do. Be do do do. Be do 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 do.
They walked around.
You ready to ride them down, chat? You ready to ride them into the dirt? What are some criteria you use to evaluate how good a deck is? And that's there isn't broken appendages. The art of TCGs is extrapolating the only way to objectively determine if a deck is good is to have an incredibly large sample size with it. When you see a deck with a 50+% win rate with a 4-figure game sample size on Mobalytics, then you can probably be certain it's good. But you, as an individual, trying to figure out if a deck that you're working on that's new is good or bad, all you have for that is anecdotal stuff. There isn't an objective checklist that you go through and say, I play 40 games with this deck, and if I hit these marks in 40 games, the deck is good. Yeah, I agree with Precipic. The Mobalytics, since Mobalytics updated how they're doing their tier list, it's about as data-driven as you can get. Yeah, using the Mobalytics data that pulls in API as well as viewer tracked things, that's about as close as you get. But you individually working on your own just cannot determine objectively that something's good or bad.
See far and clear. The trap is set.
Carved from the savage cold.
Second Johnny's actually not a terrible draw, because now I have a Fury in the north here.
Pain is nothing.
I wish other games would give players access to as much data as Runeterra does. They can't. Because other games, by and large, are poorly managed piles of crap. And if you give players data about your game, they can show objectively that your game is a poorly managed pile of crap. So other games hide their information because if you don't hide your data, it's easy for players to point out when you're doing things wrong. And Riot is willing to occasionally take the lump and be shown that they're wrong because they're willing to fix the issues. Hey, I'm gonna break this siege wide open, chat. It really makes me happy too, because like, as someone who spent years advocating for better data in games like Magic, and WotC shills telling me that Magic can't provide better data because it's not possible to balance your game if you provide better data, and then like Riot's just like, nah, it's fine. If you manage your game, you can do stuff like that, and they just gave us all this data. It's so great. Just like the fact that they have constantly shown that I was correct, and like if you're willing to manage your game, you can share information is fantastic.
Surround them.
Yeah, I remember Hex used to share all their data too. And people used to tell me that Hex could only share all of their data because they were a small game. They're made by a small company. And that excuse just doesn't apply to Runeterra. Which is lovely.
Prove your worth.
Look out for reavers.
Well, I mean, like, players making lazy arguments in spite of Riot providing data just really kind of shows that, you know, people are going to complain regardless, right? King Koopa, thank you for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Good morning. Yeah, it's just human nature. Like I've talked about, Hex only did bans, which was that was actually one of the things that I think Hex really messed up on. They were trying too hard to be like a paper card game and not embrace the digital.
Many tribes, one Frel.
Delirium, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Thanks. Welcome to the channel.
Hail, War Mother.
Drive them before us, Era.
Am I supposed to put them in range of single decimate next turn? I think I'm not supposed to. I think I'm supposed to just put as much beef as I can on the table to try and play around them having a +8. Are we dead to Battle Fury regardless? We might be dead to Battle Fury regardless. If I played this out, I have 6, 11, 14, 17 toughness. And they have 10, 16, 19. I think Yeti lets me survive Battle Fury here. So I'm gonna play Yeti.
What will you have?
I think Yeti lets me survive Battle Fury here.
Good spring.
Especially if I draw like a combat trick like a Troll Chant or a Sajani here. I think this should mean we survive their big play here. Hey, gamer, thank you for the very generous tip. Just submitted KDA, Diana Plaza, Swole Squirrel, Riven Shen, Bloodseeker Swain, and Whirling Vi Riven. Thanks for I'm gonna take a peek at all of those. Those sound fine. I'm not sure what Bloodseeker Swain is. Take a peek at them. I'll let you know if any of those aren't okay. Yeah, Hex had a terrible card in-game economy. They had a buy-sell trade secondary market that was real bad. Yeah, I agree, Sherpio. Shen Fiora. Honestly, all of these seem great here. These two together are good combat tricks. This gets us going. This is good at shutting them down for a turn. Sky Zero, Sky Zos runs the world. Thanks for the year and a half. Welcome back. Let's pass here. See what they do.
I long for a worthy opponent.
Winter take you.
Yeah, that's what I thought. She's scared, chat. Fiora's got the fear in her.
United, nothing can stop us.
She can't block warriors, chat. She's a coward. Honestly, and this is something I genuinely wasn't sure if Runeterra was going to be able to consistently keep doing, is the fact that they released another set of cards, and instead of them making the format more narrow, they've just made the format wider yet again, is really awesome. If they can continue releasing card sets where we add more and more cards to the format, where the result is more things are constantly playable, like, this game's gonna be real good. Yeah, not being forced to power creep is a big deal. screeching dragon, chat. It's what's for dinner.
Gift from the river folk.
Welcome to the tipsy hour.
Welcome to the tipsy hour, opponent. Yeah, honestly, the way the deck building in this game works, where you can't just, like, put all the good cards into your deck is a big deal.
Counter and strike.
Shiv, Soraka, Kench was a bit of a dud. I don't think that's true. I disagree with your statement fundamentally. Shiv, Soraka, and Kench all see play in decks. In my opinion, if every expansion from here on out introduces even 2 new decks to Runeterra as a game, I think that expansion is an incredible success. Runeterra is a game that already has dozens of competitive decks in it. And if every new expansion they release from here on out just makes 1 to 2 more things playable, that is an incredible win for their design team.
Right over your head.
Try me.
Your move.
I would just like to say, chat, it feels really good to out-combat Trick the Fiora deck.
Order from here. Surround them.
Are we opening attacks here? Is this a Battle Fury turn? It feels like a Battle Fury turn.
All right, fill the valley.
Turrets, pull them down.
And then I think I'm actually supposed to Battle Fury this one, because Battle Furying this one means... You think I press OK? Really? Yeah, I think you're right. I'm supposed to press OK. Yeah, you're right. I'm not supposed to try and kill them here.
What form will the waters take?
Everything I've worked for.
Nah, I think this is fine. I think there's a 0% chance we die next turn, and there's no reason to not just wipe their board out. Well, we actually could play around Concerted Strike. Concerted Strike plus Sharp Sight could be a worry there, though.
I am one with the land.
You own what it takes.
Man, playing a deck that bodies Shen Fiora feels real good. I mean, what could they top deck is the question. Like, what are we worried about them top decking?
Nature blesses her followers.
That the best you got?
The Witcher's Claw triumphs!
So, honestly, I think I'm gonna mulligan Ice Veil Archer here. This is likely They Who Endure, so I think I actually want this in my deck for later in the game to, like, have this to hold on to and draw for when they have Endure on turn 7+. I believe the kids would say this hand slaps. Is that the correct jargon? Are there any Zoomers in chat that can let me know if slaps is still the correct jargon? Or am I no longer hip? How do we do, fellow children? I got it. Sick. Nailed it. It is indeed the chestnuts. You still have the hips. Yes. Pierce that treasonous heart.
I must get out of here.
I must get out of here.
Right out.
No blocks. Go to 16. So if we don't draw an 8/8 Yeti, this is probably a Battle Fury turn, right?
What did you catch?
Think I denied them the draw 2 here. Techpa, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Good morning.
This is our home. Our ranks fill the valley.
You have to get me out of here.
You have to get me out of here. So, I think I bank spell mana here so I can Sejani next turn into open attacks with Battle Fury on my next attack. Yeah, exactly. So I'm skipping, and this is one of the reasons why Runeterra is one of the most skill-intensive card games out there, is you need to, even in an aggro deck like this, you need to be planning out multiple turns in advance. So like my play on turn 5 is dictated by what I want to do on turn 7. You don't just want to be thinking about what's best in your current turn. You want to be formulating a plan as to how you're going to structure this game you're trying to win.
Bow to no one.
It's not just, well, how do I execute this turn? It's how do I turn this game into a victory? You assume I'm trying to win. It is kind of a bold assumption for some people.
There is show them our teeth.
So blocking this kills this, because they're linked together. Gets them a dice trigger for the They Who Endure, though.
Stand and fight.
I want a Battle Fury here, so that way all my things have 6 toughness, so that way they can't kill any of my units with Atrocity. The opponent's archetype does not play Vengeance. They are an aggro deck. Yeah, they all... Atrocity is a piece of interaction they could have there, so making sure that we put the Outriders to 6 toughness so none of my things die to Atrocity is key there. Yeah, spell mana is such a simple idea that in practice just works out to such an incredible amount of depth. It's really, really well done and elegant. I said you shouldn't assume what cards they're playing in newly established decks. They who endure not playing a card that's existed for a long time is something you can make an assumption about. And again, that's where there's heuristics like don't assume what a new deck is playing, but you know when that detail is different because it's an established deck featuring an established card or not. I think we're full mulliganing here, looking for some of my more aggressive units to start. I'm really good at drawing these two Precipic.
We playing build rules, son?
One of the reasons why Riot has been successful in making so many of the details in Runeterra correct is Riot's done what a lot of games often fail to do, which is they've learned from mistakes. The people that designed Runeterra very clearly have a lot of really good card game experience and have leveraged the issues other game makers have had in the past. And not repeated those issues here.
Many tribes, one Frel yard.
Vi, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Good morning. For people that don't have a Magic background, Ruben, who's the live design lead, for instance, he's a Magic Pro Tour winner. Yes, he has a lot of experience from other card games. His bunch of other results past that playing games competitively.
Something the matter?
I mean, when I talk about Riot and balance in Runeterra, people often complain about balance issues that Riot has had in their other games. And while I know that those are also Riot products, it's so important to note that, like, in addition to learning from other card games in terms of how to balance things, Riot has also certainly taken lessons learned that they've applied from League of Legends and their other games before this to apply them to Runeterra as well.
What did you catch?
So I believe folks when they tell me that, like, Runeterra or League of Legends hasn't always had the best balance, but, like, I also know that, like, you know, people fail and they iterate and they learn.
Just trying to help.
Ruben is, his title is live design lead, so he's basically in charge of balance updates for the game. I think we're just playing Sajani here and murdering this and attacking them for a bunch. I don't think this is a Battle Fury turn.
Is nothing.
Never lost a fair game. Hold it, partner.
Sean Main is also there. He won a great designer search for WotC and then left for right. Oh, I didn't know that he had previously worked on Magic. That's sweet.
Born for conquest.
Where you going?
I know that you come here, chat, for the blisteringly hot takes, so I'm gonna lay a thick one on you. I think a 1-mana 8/8 with Overwhelm is pretty good.
It's my watch.
Whoa, whoa, whoa there, Prey Rage. This is a family stream. I hid my game screen when things got hot and steamy last night in Witcher, okay? Family friendly channel. Except for the occasional swear words. I apologize for the occasional swear words. They are partially because I can't help myself, but they're also partially because I need my videos to clearly not be for children on YouTube. Close game here.
We survive.
You survive. Hey, good game, Leapbert. For people asking what our record is, I don't know. I don't keep track of it. The record doesn't matter when we're winning, and it doesn't matter when we're losing. The most fun mechanic in this game. Zoe is the only correct answer to that question. I think I'm keeping Trapper here. And mulliganing the rest, looking for our Allegiance card. Yes, fine. Get to go listen to this.
This land is ours.
No Hawk on 1, are you intentionally not playing? Well, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I'm trying my best, chat.
Joke to me. Hop on the train.
Really looking to draw Culling Strike. It's probably one of our best cards in this matchup. Man, only a 5/5 for 1. What a garbage card.
I fight with my spirit, not my fists.
Knocked and ready.
Not having a play this turn's a little bit awkward. It sets us up to go Alpha Claw into Battle Fury on 7, though, which is nice. How does Yeti become an 8/8? The Alliance, the Frel Alliance card. Makes it a biggin.
Without a sound.
Yeah, we're gonna see double gem here, so that way they generate a Dragonling next turn. If they have a way to give Zed Overwhelm, we could be in a little trouble. I guess that's not true. We could just jump block the Shadow.
Survive. We go as one. Ready the torches. Stay back.
Right on time, Outrider. Welcome to the party.
is meaningless without skill.
A pleasure to see you, Master.
So, strong chance we get combo killed next turn.
What is gained when you return malevolence? With my spirit, not my fists.
Our enemies would be foolish to underestimate you.
That's a bad win.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Factual Battlestar.
It is time.
Do not deny me.
No Sajani, no Archer there means we're dead. Yep. Fitting that it happened to Lee Sin. We are much more skillful this game. Hawk into Outriders.
Let's get to it.
Definitely just want to take my blocks early here. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that Precipic. So far, Trindamir's felt really bad. It could be right to play a 2-drop this turn and then 1-drop, 2-drop next turn. Yeah, like if I had played this here, it would be better against Elise. Trindamir's definitely felt too expensive. Battle Fury's definitely been much better than this card. Is there even another champion I want to play in this deck? Or do we just like... play only Sajani?
Can see the Devastian border from here. Didn't know the boss is sent for you.
Don't know much, do ya?
The people talking about playing noxious cards, that's definitely too many. We already have arguably too many. We've been very lucky not to brick on this. Yeah, the Darius Overwhelm's a different deck, chat. You have to. There's an archetype similar to this that plays Darius that doesn't play this card because you can't play this card with Darius. There's just too many misses. And this card's been really good. Yeah, I think I'm inclined to just play 3 champs as well.
Who goes there?
This land is ours.
I think Trundle's just too slow. Trundle's not an aggressive card, chat. Nah, Brom's not an aggressive card either. I don't know. We'll take a peek at the deck after. We'll pull up the deck editor after this and look at what 1 to 4 cost things. We played Zoe Lux every round and we got a Prime Glory. Because Zoe Lux is love, Zoe Lux is life. Mighty Poro, just 3/3 Overwhelm. British worst cards. I kind of feel like I wouldn't mind another 1 or 2 drop.
I don't change fate, but I can see it.
I can see it. Yeah. Yeah, Ash could be the right answer. Ash is just a genuinely good card that has an okay stat line. That is an accurate descriptor of Ash.
Where is assistant?
Where is assistant?
We live here.
Ash does work well with Culling Strike. Yeah, that's very true. That's a card we're playing anyways. And like we would level Ash sometimes, right? Like we have Ice Veil Archers. Remember what our opponents say? It just seems like just last turn. Katarina. No, we can't play more Noxious cards, Leaper. If we could play Noxious cards, finding a random aggro card would be easy. But we can't play more Noxious cards.
My blade grows restless.
Yeah, Wolf Rider could be okay.
They never stood a chance.
Hearthguard's a good idea. I'm kinda into Hearthguard. Hearthguard's a beefcake. I definitely agree that we've had too much top end, and Pharaon and Battle Fury have been better than that. I think I could be down with Hearthguard. We don't have any 5s right now. Like the issue is our mid game. Like we have a lot of 1s, 2s, and 3s, and we don't have any 5s. We have almost no 4s, right? I'm kind of into Hearthguard. Let's do that. I could also see Ash being good for curve purposes, but Hearthguard seems fine. Yeah, Wolf Rider's fine. I think Wolf Rider, Ash, and Hearthguard are all reasonable. Oh no, Zoe Lux! No, chat, we have to murder my babies with, we have to murder my true love? There will be no mercy! The Outriders are here! I have to kill my darlings. I'm sure they've closed the stream. They're a sub.
Nothing escapes my watch.
Ghosting is not something that's real. That happens very often.
Reality is just your mind crumbling under what it doesn't understand, silly.
What sure doesn't understand, silly. this banking spell mana here.
A Demacian soldier is worth 10.
Yeah, I super agree with what Belly said there. Ghosting happens more often in streamers' heads than it does in reality.
Many tribes, one Freljord.
It's my favorite deck to play today. I think Zoe Lux is my favorite deck in the game, period, so probably that one. This is a danger of playing this out, but like I also just didn't have good attacks into this, so I just gotta pass here. Having this is probably our single best card in the matchup, so having two of them that are 9/9s here in the opener is pretty good. Opponent's deck tends to go kind of long, so the fact that we have double Pharaoh here bodes really well for us.
The Winter's Claw strikes.
Glory unrelenting.
If I'm missing a Zoe, can I still play Zoe Lux? Sure.
Intruders, stay back. My time has come.
Is Zoe Fizz still my favorite Zoe deck? It's my favorite aggro Zoe deck. You can't make me pick a favorite Zoe deck. I love all my Zoe decks equally, chat.
Feel no fear, show no
They're all perfect and beautiful in their own way.
My faith protects me. Born for conquest.
I want you to know, Zoe, that this hurts me this hurts me way more than it hurts you, okay? What do you think about the new Twitch point gambling options? I thought about it, but I really don't want to encourage people to spew. Like I have like actual meaning channel rewards on my channel. Like things that people are working towards. So I don't want to encourage people to make bad decisions by enabling the channel point gambling here.
Daylight warms the heart and lights the way.
Winter take you!
You ready to break this siege, chat? This plaza's been under siege for too long. We need to break it open.
For the fallen.
I'll end this. The other thing that's sweet here about the Therons is these Decimates are going to let me level Sajani on their turn, so we can work towards leveled Sajani as an endgame here as well. Oh, this is permanently silenced. Yeah, that pass is definitely wrong. I'm gonna be honest, chat. I was reading a Discord message. This definitely should have attacked last turn. I mean, the real answer is we're not gonna have enough time to play at least SMH before we die, most likely. Alright, so they have a troll chant.
Try me, I dare you.
To the person that was messaging me, whose message I was looking at while I was distracted, we lost this game. We're gonna lose anyways, probably. Zoe Lux is busted, chat. Play Zoe Lux. Your deck that you were asking about not getting an email back on is already in the queue. That's actually, I actually probably didn't send you an email because you cheered the bits and I put it in the deck queue. If Dyer is still here in chat, feel free to let me know if you just heard that. I'm gonna play one more with this. Try and end on a high note while I'm not distracted, but Giant elusives are pretty good, turns out. I actually think this hand's excellent to this matchup, huh? Although, I guess the Garen would imply that they're the little bit bigger version, so maybe I don't want these two. Yeah, but I'm mulliganing these two looking for some more of an offensive power. Yeah, it's a little slow. Yeah, have Hawk out, though.
Trap is set.
Yup. Run away! Alright, so against Plaza, I was gonna say you basically always want to open attacks, but Yeti changes that. Or Yeti.
Can't be.
It can't be.
I'm through waiting.
Gotcha. Gotcha. The opponent is playing Misfortune Garen. No play on 4 seems great for us. I guess they could double trouble this turn plus a champion, though. We're really good at hitting with this. Yes, that's pretty good. Oh, that's really good. So they get to, like, hook this into here, and then this becomes a 4/4.
Steady my hand.
Man, that's gross.
They walked around.
Stay resolute.
You own what you take.
That was a very, very good turn for Plaza. Yep.
My shield is yours.
Well, poop.
Stand and fight. Shield up.
Farron might drag us kicking and screaming across the finish line here. We have this Yeti as well.
No prey, no pay.
Lead our charge.
Demacia, now and forever.
I think I'm supposed to lead on this. I think it's like this turn. And then like this next turn, smack you. Depending on how they attack, it could also be right to just play Alpha Claw this turn.
Demacia!
Prove your worth.
Oh, I can't Culling Strike this now. Yikes. I knew that. Maybe it might have been right to open on Culling Strike there. If I open on Culling Strike, they can't trade these here.
Mwah.
We must not relent!
Yeah, level Garrett is really good with Plaza.
I've come so far.
So Garen lets them rally so they get to attack this turn. Here's hoping you will, Mr. Farron. Here's hoping you will, in fact, end this. Yeah, Plaza definitely put this champion into overdrive. Hopefully this attack plus these decimates is gonna force them out. We're still at 15 here.
What is right?
I think I'm just chumping this Garrett attack.
Hold fast.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
I mean, even if they Judgment here, they're still going into Decimate range, right?
I'll be damned.
Everything worked out better than expected, chat. Everything worked out better than expected.
Justice will be served.
Well, poop.
Be scoured from this land.
Hey, no worries, Flab. Make sure to always take care of you and yours.
Soldiers, to me.
Thanks for dropping in today. I could heal this, and then they can't kill it with that. That's probably the line. They don't have misfortune anymore.
Follow my lead. Banish the unworthy.
God, overdraft fees. One of the stupid, shittiest things about capitalism. gosh, this card is good. Do you have Bank of America? Yeah. Yeah, it's always the big ones.
I will end this here.
Is there any consideration to culling striking your own units there? Huh, maybe? That's not something I thought about, but yeah, perhaps.
I fight for the fallen.
The ocean whispers her secrets.
Strike for justice.
I didn't culling strike the 2-3. Well, we're gonna lose this game. Baron should have ended this game. I fucked it up like 3 different ways, reading chat and doing other things.
Show them what we're made of.
I'm one of the good guys, but not that good.
Only the strong survive. You own what they take.
That is one of our better draws.
Tomas.
This is gonna get to deal 2 points of damage to me.
Love ya.
We weren't dead till they did that. Were we dead before that? No, yeah, you're right. We were dead before that, right? Because they hook one and then they hook the other one. Yeah. I mean, that was a shit game. I played like shit. I lost because I played like shit. Like, my deck had 3 different lines to win that there that all involved using Culling Strike at the right time, and I clicked through them. Like, the opponent definitely deserved to win. But saying it was a good game and I played well is very, 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 very objectively incorrect. Because I did not.
Nothing but the stink of blood and sweat.
The shuffler was rigged? Yeah, exactly. No. That was a bad player made mistakes and lost because they made mistakes game. I need to blame stream sniping, right? Sorry, apologies.
I know what lurks in the shadows.
Let's get to it.
To credit where credit is due, my deck tried its hardest to drag us kicking and screaming across the finish line. Just made slightly too many mistakes for it to get us there.
If I kill you, I don't fortune.
Ontario leader announced that COVID is getting bad, so they're shutting down again after Christmas. Ah, yes! It's really bad, so we're gonna shut down after a bunch of people invite other people into their homes and travel a bunch. Good stuff, good stuff.
Reel me in. Dead in their tracks.
Glad to hear that it's not just the United States government that's the disaster sometimes.
Through waiting.
This is outrage!
Hush now.
Over there.
I've carved meat bigger than you.
They are playing Vile Beast. Okay. That's
A
fine.
tribute to the spider god.
Okay, we're in a really good spot this game.
So young.
We fight for one.
We get to Hearthguard here. We get to Hearthguard plus Culling Strike next turn.
Our strength.
I think I want to do this rather than this. Next turn I could do both of these. I think I want to be able to Culling Strike Twisted Fate here.
I've whipped up something special.
Avarosans, stand together.
Clear off.
They must all make sacrifices.
I mean, no country or system of government is perfect, but Canada gets a lot right. Yeah, the culling after they aggressively work towards leveling Twisted Fate's real good here.
Where do you stand on cold shots?
Many tribes. One Frel.
Oh no! Hopefully Daddy Farron's on top of our deck, chat. That was bound to happen at some point, right? We've been playing this deck for almost 2 hours. That was our first whiff.
Stand and defend.
Scratched.
Bound to happen eventually. Clean Alt and DigiKid, thanks for the follows. Welcome to the channel. You're having a
Nice
wonderful morning.
catch. Feed.
Deck confirmed unplayable. Yep. Spoon. Thanks for the follow. Good morning. Good afternoon. It's not morning. It's not morning in the cornfields anymore. There is a Daddy Farron. All right. Well, do I suggest Johnny to kill this, or do we just drop Daddy Farron? I think it's just Daddy Farron, right? Daddy Farron is putting down his foot, and he's turning this game around. Now the Culling Strikes have been great, Preywaits. They've been really, really good. Oh, no Vengeance this turn.
Bounty Bowl knows me.
No Vengeance, no Ruination. Sign me up.
Say your farewells.
Any consideration to Tryndamere instead of Farron? No, Farron is much better than Tryndamere. It's not close. Yeah, we started with Trynd and we swapped him out. JMTG, welcome to the channel and welcome to Runeterra. Glad to see more Magic the Gathering players coming over to playing good, sweet other games. You play Trynd over Battle Fury. I think anybody that would play Tryndamere over Battle Fury in this deck hasn't played enough games with it. This card is much, much better than Tryndamere, and it is not particularly close. The fact that you can play this card for spell mana is a really key difference. 8 in the morning. Welcome to 12 in the afternoon. Thanks for the follow. People mad disrespect Battle Fury. I agree. People that want to cut this card from this archetype haven't played this deck enough. I played a number of variations of Frel Overwhelm at this point, and this card is very, very good. It honestly could be in contention for the best card in the deck. Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the thing, Meister. You often play this card before you would be playing Tryndamere. You play this card and win the game on turns like 5, 6, and 7 very often. You can't Tryndamere Battle Fury until turn 9.
Pain is nothing.
Keep up, keep up.
Packed 'em good.
What was it? I remember back during undergrad, I had Chase Bank as a bank, and my debit card that I had literally never used got stolen.
Suppose you want in on this.
So I had never used it anywhere before, so very clearly someone inside the bank stole my account number. And then they took a bunch of money out and made me wait 6 weeks to get my money back that was stolen. So we promptly left them. This matchup seems really good for this deck.
The Witcher's Claw triumphs!
Generally speaking, I use my actual credit card for any purchases that I make anywhere because, Discoverer's always better to work with than random bank companies. Although I guess my Discover, I use Discover for a bank now too. That matchup is why I registered deck for the season. Yeah, this one seems really sweet. I'm kind of pretty happy where we ended up at. Hearthguard felt really good in that last game. I definitely think if you don't want Hearthguard, you want something else that fills this spot of your curve. More turns 4, 5 is definitely what I felt like we were lacking. I am very confident that Battle Fury is a card you want to be playing, and you should not cut it from this deck list. If there's one thing I'm confident on, this is a card you want to play. It's very good, and it will win you lots of games. Another question to ask with this deck is, was Outriders worth giving up Darius? And honestly, I kind of think it might be. Like, this card was super, super strong in a lot of situations. It's an Overwhelm threat on its own. It makes your other Overwhelm threats bigger. I was very happy with this card in this set compared to the Darius build that doesn't play this card. So if you're looking for a sweet aggressive build, I think this would definitely be one I'd recommend doing some laddering with if you're looking to climb up a little bit. The curve of Trapper to Outrider, yes, yeah, going Trapper into Outrider and then drawing a 1-mana 8/8 Overwhelm is very, very good. All right, we're not done with Runeterra yet for the day, so don't go anywhere. We're going to play some Ribbon Swain up